personal in order to leave this kind of stuff. Right? Yeah. So let's just say this. So let's just say it was yeah. Great. I know that you're not me. Because it was like, but well, right. Because I wanted to put him down to a better basically. Right. And was that example you gave us on the streets? Does it work does it still work? Do we feel most of what you if I go and the same thing? Or does it have to be good? You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal in order to leave this kind of stuff. Right? Yeah. So let's just say this. So let's just say it was yeah. Great. I know that you're not me. Because it was like, but well, right. Because I wanted to put him down to a better basically. Right. And was that example you gave us on the streets? Does it work does it still work? Do we feel most of what you if I go and the same thing? Or does it have to be good? You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal in order to leave this kind of stuff. Right? Yeah. So let's just say this. So let's just say it was yeah. Great. I know that you're not me. Because it was like, but well, right. Because I wanted to put him down to a better basically. Right. And was that example you gave us on the streets? Does it work does it still work? Do we feel most of what you if I go and the same thing? Or does it have to be good? You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal in order to leave this kind of stuff. Right? Yeah. So let's just say this. So let's just say it was yeah. Great. I know that you're not me. Because it was like, but well, right. Because I wanted to put him down to a better basically. Right. And was that example you gave us on the streets? Does it work does it still work? Do we feel most of what you if I go and the same thing? Or does it have to be good? Does it work does it still work? Do we feel most of what you if I go and the same thing? Or does it have to be good? You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal in order to leave this kind of stuff. Right? Yeah. So let's just just say, so what's right? So what you say was, yeah. Great. I know that you're the not me. It was like, yeah, but well, right. You know, because I wanted to put him down to a better basically. Right. And with that example, on the streets, does it work from like does it still work? Do you feel what you if I go and the same thing, or does it have to be doing it? You know what? Even if you were going to be sarcastic and ironic, I think you should still act as though it was personal, in order to leave this kind of stuff. Right? Yeah. So let's just say this. So what's right? So what you say was, yeah. Great. I know that you're the not me. It was like, yeah, but well, right. You know, because I wanted to put him down to a better
Oh. Okay, bet. Perfect. About fucking time. About fucking time. Okay.
Yeah. So let's just say this. So what's right? So what you say was, yeah. Great. I know that you're the not me. It was like, yeah, but
Oh my god. Hey guys. Holy shit, hold on. I need to be able to pull up the chat so I can... Okay. It's a Stanley Parable. And number one, this is the first time I've streamed since, I think, 2021.
This is the story of a man named
Hold on, I'm gonna shut the
Stanley.
fuck up for y'all so y'all can hear this shit.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished
I would
every
find this
moment
job
that the orders
very
came,
just soul-rending as well.
though he had been made exactly.
I think this is my calling.
And Stanley was happy.
Man's more content than I
And
am.
then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
So backstory, like, forever ago, I was genuinely obsessed with this game. Like, I would always watch, like, gameplays. Like, this game was dope. So, I really, really want to try and figure everything out. I can't really remember most of it. Like, I remember, like, the beginning part, but there's a lot to the Ultra Deluxe than there was to the first one. So, I'm actually pretty excited. So.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wow.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. So I think this first walkthrough, I think we're gonna follow the directions, okay? Just to kind of just play with the directions and just see what the Stanley Parable really is. First off, right off the bat, following
This
the
was not the
instructions.
correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
That
Perhaps
was
he
not
wanted
the
to
left.
stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay, guys. I definitely meant to go to the door on the left, but I clearly can't. I don't know my left from my right. So, scratch that. Fuck that. We're going for it.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first
Guys,
open
it's
door
the
on
wine.
his left.
Wait. Which way do I go? Where should I go? He said to the left, right? Okay, this is what I get for talking and not listening.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Okay, we're gonna get back on track. We're just gonna play through like normal. Okay, like nothing ever happened.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office,
Wow.
hoping he might find an answer there.
Let it ball up inside you. No, because this is real as fuck. I'm not even gonna lie. Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
It's kind of scary down there. Okay, nope. We're following directions. We're following directions. I need to be a good listener. Where's that? He has a nice executive bathroom.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
Oh.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley
Oh my
happened to
God.
input the correct
Sorry.
code.
I got a
by
little jump
sheer
scared. I
luck.
get scared easily.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oh, okay. Guess we're going for it.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I don't know. That's pretty tempting if you ask me. Nope, we're following directions. We're following directions. Ooh, button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I feel like every time I get to, well, not really every time, it's like my first time playing it, but every time I've like seen this room, with these
Now the
cameras,
monitors jump to life. Their true
it gives
nature
me like, you know
revealed.
that scene
Each
from The
bore the number
Matrix
of an
where
employee
like
in the
Neo
building.
walks in
Stanley's
and he sees all
co-workers.
different versions
The
of
lives
himself?
of so many
Yeah,
individuals
this is
reduced
how
to
this makes me
images
feel.
on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Damn, out of all these people, y'all only had like 2 people that were fired.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yeah, I guess.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Yeah.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions.
Wow,
Happy,
there's a lot of
or
buttons
sad,
here.
or content. Walking,
Can I press
eating,
them?
working, all of it monitored and commanded from this
Up here.
very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
That's kind of scary. Oh. Wow. Wow, this is... Wow.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
I don't necessarily remember this from, you know, the original like Stanley Parable, but we're definitely. I'm gonna try and like play through. I'm gonna try and play through every, option. So we're gonna listen for now. We're gonna turn this off.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Okay, so that was the first and the original ending. Alright, so we're back. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna follow the directions pretty much until we get to the part. Well, actually, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go through the right door this time. And remember that little elevator
All of his co-workers were gone.
that we saw?
What could it mean? Stanley
Whenever
decided to go
it
to the
takes
meeting
us
room.
back
Perhaps he had
to,
simply missed a memo.
You know, that little hallway that takes us back to the correct door, the correct hallway. We are gonna go on
When
that
Stanley
elevator.
came to a set of 2 open
So,
doors,
we're
this
going
was
through this
not
way
the
again.
correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah, of course.
Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room.
Yes,
What a gorgeous,
gorgeous.
but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, so we're gonna go this way.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section,
And now
walked
we're gonna
straight
get on
ahead
this
to the
elevator.
opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh
No,
my
it's
God.
to the right. My mistake.
That was... I get
No,
caught...
no, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right?
He's just
What
fucking
was
with me
I
at this point.
thinking? It's clearly... Oh, dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Yeah, of course. This guy's my new friend.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Okay.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Okay. So now we're gonna go through the correct door again.
All of his co-workers were gone.
But
what could it mean?
this time
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
we're gonna
Perhaps
do
he
some
had
things
simply missed a
different.
memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No,
Oh.
I restarted. I swear I
Just
definitely
kidding, guys.
restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be...
This was a joke.
Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Okay. We're gonna go over here. This seems like a interesting door. Okay.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we just...
Wait a minute.
Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay,
I
let's give it a
agree.
shot. Why not?
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything? Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Oh, boy. Okay, you have an adventure line.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Let's follow the line. Let's follow it.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought.
It's so
Wouldn't
tempting
wherever
to
we
just
end up be our destination, even if there's no story there?
not listen.
Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
I actually love this.
Wait, cut the music.
What?
Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You
Wow.
won't want to miss anything.
This is beautiful. I'm glad he stopped me to look at that.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Okay. Oh. Supposed to go this way.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart. You know what, Stanley?
Oh,
I say
thought
forget
he
the
was
adventure
gone.
line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
I'm down for that.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination.
How?
Whatever it might be,
This
Stanley.
is wild.
I'm ready for it.
The adventure of my life.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine. Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Wow.
Oh, hold up, what's this? Oh. The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped?
Oh.
Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Oh. Wow, I don't know what to believe. I don't know, believe this is a fresh start or what?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I feel like I have trust issues. The doors are open.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, we're gonna go to the one on the left.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. So we're gonna go down the elevator. Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay, so this time we're gonna go to the escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Okay. Sounds fun enough.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I'm good.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yep. Of course.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected
Best
that his
roller coaster
life
I've
had
been
been of
on.
no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
So we're just gonna... Oh, I just had to walk.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Okay. Wow. So this is like a whole museum of everything in the game. All the endings. Everything. Whoa, okay. I don't want to look too much into it because, you know, I haven't done the full playthrough, so we're just gonna keep going. I don't like how she laughed
look
at
at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail.
Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game.
As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
You know, I didn't like her as much as the other guy. And we're back at the office.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
There's that
Stanley
beautiful
decided to go
voice
to the
I
meeting
love so
room.
much.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Pretty positive this is gonna be the last time we're gonna enter the door on the left.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Because
Feeling a wave
I'm
of
pretty sure there's
disbelief,
one more thing we
Stanley
haven't
decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley
Oh,
walked
wait.
upstairs to his boss's office.
We haven't went downstairs. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go down there next time, but we're gonna continue upstairs, because there's one more thing upstairs when we go up here that we have not quite done yet. So, we're gonna go ahead and
The
do
moment
that.
he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor, he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's
This
desk.
time we laid
What could
paralyzed
it
on the
mean?
floor.
Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845.
Wow.
Statistically, nearly yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened
I need to drink some
passageway.
water. I gotta hydrate. Alright. Alright, so we're gonna go down. Alright.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Yeah.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or
Let's see if
content.
this is open.
Walking, eating, working.
This little
All of it
staircase. I wanna
monitored
go
and
up there and press
commanded
that
from this
button.
very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would
Okay.
dismantle the controls once
This is
and
what I wanted to
for
get to.
all.
This is the very last thing that we need to do over here. We're gonna turn it on.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Wow.
In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are
What if we
set to
just leave?
explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape
Turn
it
on
to
that
your
door.
heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to
What a
enjoy
bitch.
it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about
this is
you,
open.
about me, where we're
This
going.
is how we get it open.
What all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this
So all that
instance of
time
the
I wanted to get
story.
to that button.
Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever,
Oh, wait,
pushing
wait.
buttons endlessly and then
Fuck,
dying
I don't have
alone.
time.
Other times, I let the office sink into the
I know what to
ground,
do.
swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though. This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make
No.
sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you.
I
it's
figured
quite
it out.
rich. I almost hate
Wait.
to see it go.
Fuck!
I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will
But he's
be
adding
even
time.
better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To
Watch
hell
us
with
do
it.
nothing.
I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not?
Oh, hell yeah.
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh, dear me. What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen,
Wow.
clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
What?
Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your
Oh.
death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless.
Wow.
To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine.
3?
But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke.
Let's make
And
a
believe
choice.
me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Okay. You know, I really thought I had it figured out. But,
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
okay. It's a little different.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, so we're gonna go to the stairs this time.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
We are gonna go downstairs.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking
I think that all the
mysteriously
time.
out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it
Wow,
be?
I'm just...
Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
And we're back.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
He's tweaking.
And everything went black.
Oh.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
She didn't even call the cops? She didn't even get no help for us or nothing. Wow. Okay. Okay, guys.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
So
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
we are done with that left door. I hope. Oh. You know, who knows if this will be here when... I don't know. Because I'm scared if I go through that right door. No, we'll save that. Or, that is new content. You know, I'm gonna take a guess here. That once we've done everything in that left door, fuck it, new content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
We'll get back to that right door, guys. We'll get back to it. Another roller coaster. Hopefully this one doesn't end in my death.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Me too.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Wow.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Oh.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Wow. This is pretty damn cool. I want to jump more. Okay.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
This is definitely not... Where's he at?
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Let's go in the vent. This seems a little interesting.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
It's a little bit of spoilers, but...
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory
really
zone
gonna look at
remind you of
anything.
how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste. And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Okay.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
Okay.
These were simpler times, Stanley.
I know, this is
But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh, no. Oh, God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Damn.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining.
I would never say this about you, narrator.
Funny? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them. Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse.
Okay, they
to
could
begin
never make
with.
me hate you.
You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore...
I can't do it.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the... Well, there's sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what cooking I... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you. Oh, Stanley. You're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. Yeah. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a... Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a...
Narrator? He's gone. Okay. They gotta change the battery on that hoe.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency.
Okay. This is all it is.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Interesting. It's dripping. Wow, that's beautiful. Oh, we got a little garden. Wow. This is a little bit scarier. I'm not liking this one as much as the last one. It's just, you know, I feel like this is worse. Let's get to the... Oh. Think the button will work? I'm gonna take that as a no. Okay. Wow. It's just alone for eternity. I love how out of that big office building and everything, the one thing that remained was that little building. Out of everything. I guess we're just gonna keep walking. Oh. And we're back here.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So we have new content. Okay, before we get to that, let's go through the right door.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, yeah.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
We're not gonna talk
Perhaps
about
he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why?
Yeah.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Huh. You know,
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
no, Stanley didn't.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's
Yeah, I
out
do,
there? You want to
actually.
find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted?
Yeah.
Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
I could go through the right door. Just to kind of piss him off. You know what? Let's try this.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
I'm gonna give it in the middle.
Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes?
Damn.
Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Oh. It's a leaderboard. 2 seconds. Wow. Only 3% of players. Only the worst 3% chose the blue doors. Wow. Okay, we're still gonna try this.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Yeah, I feel a little bit more motivated.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So
Damn.
why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation?
I remember this game.
Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Oh my god, the Minecraft door sound. Wow.
Oh, no. No, it can't be.
Wow, I can go so many different directions.
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly, block it off.
No!
Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. Wow. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
They're not taking me to the back rooms.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Is this fucking... What the
Wonderful.
fuck?
See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together.
Wow.
Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Oh, hell yeah.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes! Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls!
Oh, hell yeah.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun? Is
I
this a
am having
real
fun.
video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's right. Your little fun comes to an end. This is my
What?
game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you'd like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, Hold on. What are you doing?
I don't know what I just did. Oh no.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Oh. Okay. I don't know what I've done. My friend is gone. Let's go back to my office. There's a light. Okay. Oh.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back.
I feel like I should have stayed and listened to him.
The
I
end
didn't
will
think
be
I
here
was
soon.
gonna honestly
Very
fall
soon.
down there.
I can wait.
Okay. And we're back. Wow. Oh.
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Okay, we went through the blue door. You know, played some Rocket League, but we're gonna go through the
Thank
door.
God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley?
Oh,
I wanted to stop.
Me and you both.
We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Okay.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Wow. Okay, that's enough of that.
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Oh my god. Holy shit. I mean, there's nothing back there for us. Okay.
No! Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
Yeah, let's see what's back there.
There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this. No. No, no, what are you doing? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
It's my time.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? My God. Is this really how much you dislike my game?
Oh my God.
That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Will he say anything if I go back down? Okay.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along.
Oh,
But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Let's see if something happens if we go back.
Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
I kind of am just teasing him, to be honest.
I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I still thought that was possible.
You know, I think it's my time. I think he's just done talking to me. He was not happy. Wow. It's kind of dreadful now. It's not even funny. Wow. Poor narrator. Well, I guess that's kind of all this area has to offer, is just to kind of kill yourself, so.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Okay. So...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. And we're back. I'm trying to think if there's anything we missed. The only thing I could quite possibly think of is whenever we were, you know, in Rocket League, if I didn't jump down there, something would have happened. You know, before we get to the new content.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
You know? Or see
Stanley
what
felt
happens
lightheaded,
if we walk
butterflies
through.
in his stomach. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Or actually, what we haven't done
Stanley was
is
so bad at following directions, it's
not
incredible he
jump
wasn't
off.
5 years ago.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stay.
Look, Stanley,
stay
I think
on.
perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life.
Who's her?
She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
I guess we'll pick it up.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
427.
All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha.
I like
Oh,
that.
come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life
What a-
to you?
Oh,
I'm trying to
damn.
make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something.
Wow.
Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
Okay.
Now he's pushing a button, Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Am I tripping? Oh, I am tripping. I'm pressing the wrong button.
And I'm trying to tell him that in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay. Guess I won't. You know what I just realized? I forget that, at the beginning of the game, it asks you to, set the time, and I didn't even realize all the clocks are set. That's kind of sick. So I guess I did it.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Oh.
And I tried.
Okay. Ah, okay. And we're back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What happens if we walk back? Anything? It's close. Okay. Oh, hi, welcome to the stream. Okay, let's think. I want to say I've completed everything. I know when we went to, when he took us to the Rocket League, my dumb ass jumped down, but, and I could have went through one of those other doors. Let's fuck it. New content.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
It does? Okay. Thank you for the clarification, because what's it called? My old mic, or the one I normally use, not really old. Well, it really is old, but the one I normally use, it wouldn't work for some reason.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how
I'm glad it
roundly
doesn't sound bad,
disappointing
though.
this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be.
But I'm
The
definitely gonna
original
get
Stanley
a new
parable
one,
was a
because
landmark,
these two,
and
the ones
any
I
new
have,
content for it should live up
won't
to
work
that
for it,
legacy.
and now this
So
one just sounds
forget
shitty,
this
so.
ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever
I think...
the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do, I'll probably look up something and try and figure out, what's the best case to, figure out how to fix my mic. But it's not annoying, is it? It's
Yes, you see, isn't this far
that's just hard
superior
to
to a
listen to?
measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Wow.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean?
I'm kind of excited for this. I've
But
seen
the
a lot of,
Stanley
the
Parable
original.
2, now that's an artistic statement right there.
The Deluxe,
It's future-oriented.
I haven't seen much
It
of it.
screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Let's check some of this shit out.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my
real.
first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the... Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take
Okay, I
a
need to
deep
refill
breath,
my wine glass.
clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim,
Jim.
seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim, watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really,
I'm feeling
truly
it.
Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
No, I'm feeling like Jim.
Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Fuck it.
Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the gym button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
You know, I love me some personal validation.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much, Jim.
You know what?
I'm putting the gym button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Wow. Okay. Time to move on, I guess.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Okay, we're gonna save that. We're gonna save that, okay? Let's see. The reassurance bucket. You know what? I fuck with buckets.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration,
Are you fucking kidding me?
I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind.
I
and
wanted
your
the
heart.
bucket.
It's
I want
true.
calm and ease
As long
in my...
as you hold on to
okay,
the bucket,
okay, we're fine,
the
we're
many
fine.
disorienting contradictions of
me.
the Stanley
Give it to
Parable
me.
will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution.
I'm agreeing with him. You know, I love me some reassurance every now and then. Oh, hell yeah.
Can you feel it?
I'm feeling
The
it.
glow of comfort, even in the
Also
face of crushing
feeling the
despair,
wine,
must
but
already be sweeping
more
through
the
your
bucket
body.
than the wine.
And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Okay. Now we have a bucket. I'm happy. I'm content.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit
I'm
of
actually
decoration,
streaming off
like
of
balloons. But I'm
PS5.
undecided on Get Well Someday
this
and
is my first time
Happy
streaming,
12th
like, back
Birthday.
in, like, 2
Which would
years.
you go with?
I used to stream off of a PC, but it kind of blew up on me, so I kind of just took that as my sign and, like, carried on with my life. But I'm now streaming off PS5 because, you know, I missed it. Why not? Even if it's shitty. But fuck it. Wow. Happy 12th birthday, Stepney's, or get what? You know, I want this one. Give me that one.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
That's kind of... Wow. I really wanted that one, but okay. What the fuck?
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Okay, holy shit, there's just a lot to get in here. Oh, trophy, okay. Simple. I believe it. I believe it's simple. You just gotta pull over and get...
Now,
yep.
here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident?
I'm trusting
I'm
it.
developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes. You see,
Yeah.
you'll come... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, The trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley.
Okay, well...
But I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just cry about it. That's fine.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Okay. Fuck, I don't even know where I am at this point. Oh my god. Okay. You know, I probably shouldn't play such a complex game while having some wine, but, you know, let's just...
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a
scared
real
to kill
video
myself
game.
again.
In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around
can
gathering
walk,
up
okay.
these miniature Stanley
Everything's
figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of
Okay.
them, and then you move the hell on with
I'm just
your
gonna stop for a minute.
life.
And I really didn't notice at first. I kind of just thought it was a nice little background. But, what's with the bodies? Okay. That's, discomforting. But I have my bucket, so it's fine.
God,
I have
it
my
really
bucket.
is the worst
so
when you
it's
collect
okay.
everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
So, collectibles, that... Infinite hole. Let me make sure. Let's see. I feel like the infinite hole is something that would, like, if I just fall indefinitely, it's probably one of the last things I want to do. So, let's see. Button that says gem. There's that little epilogue thing. Is that up there? But I don't know how to get up there. Infinite hole, exit. Okay. So, I guess it's... I don't have any more jumps in the jump circle. Okay, well, infinite hole it is. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's where we came out of. Okay. You know, I have my bucket, so everything's fine.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like.
No, I think
a
I
stunning
will.
leap forward for video game. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite
Alright,
hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well,
He lied.
good for you. You found the bottom
Sorry.
of the hole.
I'm looking at the chat. I'm trying to figure it out with the best way I can get this mic to sound nice.
Unusually fascinated by falling. What normal
let's
person
see.
actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite. If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Alright, let's see. Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. Okay. So, alright, I pretty much had to start from scratch today, so I literally am like on my like computer, I have my stream up, and pretty much I have to use it like on the website. Pretty much, like I don't even have the Twitch app downloaded. This was like a spur of the moment, so I don't have Twitch Studio downloaded, but let's see. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. I want to fix this so it's not unbearable to watch, you know? So, just give me 1 minute. Let's see. Alright, so what I am doing now sorry, bear with me. Alright, I'm gonna just continue
Great.
playing.
Now, I'm very excited to show you even more
I pretty
of my
much
ideas for the
downloading
sequel.
Twitch Studio again. I probably should have done that before stream, but it's been a while. It's been 2 years. So I have that downloading super quick. Once that's done, I'm gonna do my best to try and fix this mic. Let's put on the hole again.
Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much.
You know, I in fact
Not
do like
normal.
holes.
A normal person would have said,
Like 'em
yep,
all.
that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time?
You
I
know,
couldn't help
it
but
did.
feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose
by the
once
way,
again
I
there's nothing to do
appreciate
here.
all the
If
help
you
with
decide
this.
you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
Jumped out the window at the start? Hold on. There's a window you can jump out of? I feel like every time I think that I got everything, I don't got everything. What? Oh, you know what? Next time I restart, I'm definitely doing that. Alright. Hold on, let me make sure. So just give me a moment. You know, and somehow it didn't work. Desk 434.
Had enough?
Huh.
I'm positive.
You know, I haven't had enough.
How could I have guessed?
Pretty much,
You're back in the
unfortunately.
hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow.
I can't fix it right now, but
Yes.
I'll
starting
definitely
to
fix
become
it after
extremely
this
certain
stream
that
now.
the hole is not only
After
not
Stanley
infinite,
Parable,
but that it's
when
growing
I'm,
steadily less and
you know,
less
get to a point
infinite.
where
I
just
suspect that I'm
wanna
starting to
cry.
hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call
I'm
the
probably
whole
gonna end this
infinitely
stream,
deep,
and then after I
even
take
by
a
the
break and
lax
whatnot,
overall standards for accountability and
I
marketing.
might hop on
What's going
Overwatch
on here?
and stream
Stanley,
some there.
I have no
But I've
explanation
been playing
for the
alone,
uncertain nature
and
of the hole's
playing
length.
Overwatch alone sometimes
Here, let's
just
try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and
just
we'll
makes
see
me
if it
wanna
gets
die.
any shorter.
makes me unhappy.
Well, there it is.
Oh.
A shame of... How is this still appealing to you?
Oh, I forgot
I
I
know you're
can't
obsessed
jump
with
in this
holes,
game.
but at this depth, I just can't see this
Oh my
scratching
God.
the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Yeah, but thank you for telling me about like the settings and everything like that.
Is the teleport
And everything.
button
I really
not
appreciate
working?
it.
You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't
Okay.
have an
Am I
explanation.
stuck in the
Still
hole?
nothing. Well, I suppose.
This is what I got
suppose
myself
there is one
into
thing I can
for
do to fix this.
just jumping
I'm
in
out.
holes.
Goodbye, Stanley.
He's leaving me again.
From the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole. I get to do literally anything else.
I don't
Take
want
care,
him to leave
Stanley.
me.
I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
I hate when he does this. I hate when he just leaves me. Please. Okay. So, I think it's just us in the hole, guys. Just here for, I'm guessing, all of eternity. Hold on. I don't know why my stream... It is alright, I have the... You're right, I do have the bucket. You're right, everything's okay because I have the bucket. As long as I have this bucket in this game, nothing could go wrong. Even if I die, nothing went wrong. I had the bucket. And that's all I need in life, really. Change my perspective. Oh. What else we got here? It's so dramatic. Stanley, look at him. He's just a beautiful man. Stanley and his bucket. Oh, hell yeah. This is what I get for staying in the hole. I'm not liking this one. Wow, you changed my reality. I think I will. Oh, this is the Stanley we know and love. Jesus. This is what I get to do for the rest of my life. Oh, there's puppies. Okay, change myself. Oh. I think I like this one the best. Oh. This is who I inspire to be, right here. This man. Oh my god. Okay, hear me out. Hear me out.
Stanley?
He's kind of bad.
Stanley? Stanley?
No, don't come back.
Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley. because this hole is just so darn fascinating.
You know, I thought
that
he was
want
leaving
you
me
to be
alone. What
wide-awake
happened?
for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the
Wow.
hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
So he came back just when I started having fun. But you know what? Oh. Okay. And we're back.
Here
And I
we
still
are.
have my bucket.
Go on. Try
So,
out some of the new features.
Everything's okay. You know, I can't help it. I'm just curious. Mostly Infinite Hole. I'm just kind of curious just to see if it's like still there. I feel like knowing the narrator, he would have like, yep, blocked it off. Definitely. Okay, so we did the trophy. There's the exit. So I get, oh, there's a staircase right here. Okay, and there's settings. Okay, before we go up there, we're gonna check it over here first. Man, do I feel dumb right now. Okay, so, ignoring that, we're gonna head up there. You know, that kind of reminds me of, I think, literally within, like, the first 10 minutes of this stream. Within the first 10 minutes of the stream, when he told me to go through the left door, I said, okay, and then went through the right door. Yeah. No, I'm kind of sad. I really would have liked some more content in here. Some merch. It's that little door. The gym button. Epilogue. Okay. I think that is it. Okay, so moving on. Oh, it tells you everything. Okay. So moving on.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Not really, but... Oh, there's Stanley. Oh, wow.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange
I
these
can't
new
wait to
features
try
together,
out,
and we'll see
what did you
whether
say?
or not it coheres into
the
a
desk
meaningful
434
gameplay
to
experience.
jump out the window. Hopefully, I get to try that.
Okay. Are you ready?
Well, I'm going to be trying everything
Here
in
it
the
is.
game.
I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Wow.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go.
If the hole isn't there, I don't want it.
Version 2.
Oh, it's here. And not
Who
the
am I
twins I
kidding,
wanted.
Stanley?
Wow.
This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply Well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh boy. Oh. Okay. This is different. This is new.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
There's a skip button. We're not gonna do that
Stanley
again.
worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for
I
his
agree.
job. And Stanley was happy.
And he just changes it to Stanley Parable 2.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not
I feel like
one
this is like
single order
I
had
like
arrived
whenever I
on the
first
monitor
watched
for
the
him to
gameplay of
follow.
like whenever this
No
game
one
first
showed
came
up
out.
to give him instructions.
Like I was
call a
very
meeting,
into just
or
like
even
watching
say
like gameplays
hi.
and like stuff like that,
Never
and I
in
never
all
really
his
like had the
years at
chance to
company
play these
had
games.
this happen. This
And,
complete isolation.
You know,
Something
I
was
saw
very
this game
clearly
today,
wrong. Shocked,
and I just thought, I was
frozen
like,
solid, Stanley found himself
I should go
unable
back
to
to
move
streaming.
for the longest time.
And
But as he came
this
to his
had to be
wits
the
and
first game I had to
regained
come
his
back with
senses,
because
he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
it's one of my favorites. It's my first time ever playing it, even though I know a lot about it. But it's definitely a lot. You know what I just realized? My bucket is gone. I don't feel reassured
All
anymore.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I feel empty without
Stanley
it.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh my god. My love.
Stanley picked up
You're
the
back.
bucket.
Okay, everything's fine now. Everything's okay. We have the bucket now, guys. Everything's okay.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay. So, this I know nothing about. I don't know if it's going to be the same as, like, you know, the original, so... Let's see. The first thing... Okay, well, when I first started playing, the first door I entered was that one. You know what, let's just go, like, normal gameplay. Let's just put the bucket. We have a bucket this time. Things might be different. Okay. Let's see.
Still no one was here.
Yep,
Stanley
no one here.
needed the bucket's
Nothing new.
warmth and comfort now more than
I
ever.
did.
Perhaps
I
his
do really
boss's
need it.
office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
So I have a feeling that it's just gonna be the same, but I have a bucket this time. So I can't remember what was downstairs. Wow, I've been playing this game for like 2.5 hours, and somehow my memory is just gone. There's 42 endings, and I think I've come across, so like the first ending, the confusion ending, holy shit, I don't even know how many endings I've come across. Wherever the fuck I was in Rocket League, I don't even fucking know anymore. But I do want to try and get all 42. I don't know how long I'm gonna be on tonight, but probably not as long to get all 42
Stepping
endings.
into his manager's office,
But I definitely want to
Stanley
do
was
it.
once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight...
Let's see. Begin the game again. I mean, that's the settings.
To this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
I don't know.
Even now, in his darkest of
Maybe
hours,
if I go
did
back
the bucket's warmth
to
and guiding light pierce the
Stanley
dark clouds
Parable,
of confusion and
I might be
chaos.
able to check.
It would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it.
This is a
The
real
two
love
of them
story
were
between us and the
inseparable.
bucket. Wow.
At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's
I
desk.
think it was like
Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any
2, 8,
notion
4,
that the
5?
pin number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I probably have to do it like every round, I'm assuming, right? At least 8 times in total. I think it's the boss's office. Okay. I can't really do nothing with the keypad. Oh, we got a collectible.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines.
So this wasn't
Remember,
for nothing.
No reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one
savoring
of
it.
these beautiful figurines.
I'm savoring it. Okay, moment savored. Okay. So I guess down the elevator we go.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate.
Oh, well, unknown.
It
but-
would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all
okay.
right.
I'll keep that
The
in mind for
bucket
next
is here
time we
for you,
get
Stanley.
to the boss's
Everything will be
office. Alright.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight
Okay, we're
ahead
back
through
here.
the large door that read, Mind Control
Wow,
Facility.
okay. I also got this ending. I remember that one. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I can't go back up the elevator, can I? You know what? Something new. Try it out. Give me some light.
Lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Oh. Is there really? Oh my god. You know, at some point, whenever I end stream, I definitely want to look at all the
Everyone in the office
achievements.
was being videotaped,
at
monitored
some
like
point,
guinea
probably.
pigs. The
Because
bucket had never seen anything like this, and it
I really
very
want to
nearly
try and, like,
burst
get
into
everything
tears
done.
as Stanley
I don't know
cradled
how many
it
hours of
gently,
gameplay that's gonna
reassuring
take,
it
but-
that everything would be fine.
I'm on a mission, and I have my bucket, so anything is possible.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do?
Poor bucket.
What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Okay. On to here we go.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except
No, I wish I had
the
somebody
bucket.
like the bucket. This is better than most people.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
Honestly,
Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or
I
sad
am.
or
I'm gonna
content.
push the off button this
Walking,
time
eating, working, all of it monitored and
because
commanded
going
from this
through
very
that
place.
self-destruct thing
And as
again
the cold
was.
reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley
was
decided
degrading.
that this machinery would never
was
again
degrading,
exert its
is what it
terrible
was.
power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good.
Yes, we will, bucket. Over.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest
did it.
enemy,
Wow.
freed themselves from the tyrannical grip
did it
of
with
the
the
evil
bucket this
mind
time.
control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate.
Oh my God.
Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway
feel like
through
this is like
and
a-
begin watching it in reverse from
Like
the
a
end.
romance.
True, it was a simple
like
life
ending.
they
Oh my
envisioned,
God.
but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support.
Oh.
What? Wait, what was happening?
That's different.
Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering
it did,
in
actually.
uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the
No.
facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket.
No.
Needed the
You
soothing
know what?
warmth
I
of
accept
the
my
bucket
fate.
would go to any
If
length
it's
to
out
get
there
back with the bucket.
or the bucket,
No.
I choose the bucket.
Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad,
I
Stanley
agree.
thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't
Yep.
I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Okay. Alright. I don't know if it'll work in this version, but I wanna... Okay, I wanna test out that, where you said you can climb out of the desk and follow the window. You said room 434.
A soft wind blew
So-
outside and perhaps rain started, and if
I
it
don't have my
did, it
bucket.
stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Okay. Not really seeing a room. Okay. Maybe I just haven't gotten to it yet.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
Fuck the
he
left.
entered the door. This was not the correct way
Wait.
to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to
Please?
admire it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did I just leave the bucket? Did I have the option of getting the bucket and I left it? Okay, well, guess that's that. Great.
The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic. Like a combination of a much
Yeah,
but
okay.
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Okay.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Oh,
I'm
no,
not
no, no, no,
Really, I'm
no!
not.
No!
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult.
You see
but
that,
the
right?
fact is that the story has been
Wow.
about nothing but you all this time.
Bye.
What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why,
Okay.
I don't know
I
how
know
to
where we're
convince you of
going.
this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
Oh,
Look,
hello.
let me prove it. Another miniature Stanley figurine. This,
I could have had 4
there
by now,
really
but...
must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands?
Did you jump off
Stanley
the
figs?
elevator?
What about
You are telling me
Stanleys?
all these
Yes,
things
I think I like
that I
that.
could have done.
Another
Oh my god, how do you jump
Stanlerine
off the
under
elevator?
your belt.
What?
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Is it the elevator? Which elevator? Because, are you talking about whenever you go to the boss's office and everything like that? We're going to the blue door, even though it's just gonna be mad at me.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're
Stanley did
communicating
not
properly.
walk through the red door.
Stanley walked. All right, fine, go ahead.
Oh, the one I
Stanley.
just
You want
jumped
to
off.
know so
Oh, okay.
badly what's out there? You want to find
That
out
one.
what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
So,
You see? There's
but if
nothing
you jump
here.
off and die,
I
you
haven't
can
even
shoot.
finished building this section of
okay.
the map because you were never supposed
I'll
to
be
be
sure
here
to
in the
die
first
next time.
place.
Don't worry.
Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining
So,
the entire story
what
I'd
I
written out
haven't
specifically for you?
I
Do
haven't
not
went
think
back
I
here
put
in a
a lot of
while,
time
so
into that?
we're back
because
here.
I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
Is this still
Tell
the
you
Stanley
what.
Parable 2? It is.
Let me take
okay.
a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of
Okay.
where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
So, I don't know what happens if you walk to these doors and don't go through that one, but we're gonna try it out. Let's go this one.
Okay,
And
I'm going to
it
stop
just
you
led me
there.
back here.
Now,
All
tell
right,
me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited
I
from
have not
allowing you
tried
more
any of
choices?
those games, but,
Feel free to be honest. I'm looking
I'm gonna
for
look some of them
real
up.
critical
Are they-
feedback here.
What are they about? I rated my experience a 3 last time, and he told me I literally had no opinion for myself. So, I'm gonna rate him higher this time. We're gonna give him a 4.
Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Clearly there's something here that speaks to you. If I can be honest here, I really don't have any idea where I'm going with this. This whole third door thing was just a stab in the dark. But I guess you're into it, so let's keep this party train rolling. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked
Until
it out
Dawn
of the park
sounds
with this
familiar.
one. Let's take a look.
Okay, so there's that. Let's try this door. And yep, that
Now,
brings us back
would
here.
you say that competitive leaderboard helped
That's
you
one
feel
of the games I
motivated
plan to
keep
stream
walking
is
through
Detroit Become
doors?
Human.
Again,
I have
honest
it.
answers, please.
And I've yet to play it at all. I've never watched a gameplay or anything. I've just heard it's an amazing game. But that's definitely on my list of games that I plan on streaming next, for sure. I'm definitely gonna be playing a lot of like RPG games and stuff like that, and a lot of like storytelling games. Definitely one of my next ones is gonna be like Life is Strange. I watched that like forever ago, whenever it first came out. But that's definitely also another game that's on my list. But I think that Detroit Become Human might be next. Okay. Oh, I'm reading my experience again. With the, I'm gonna give it a 2. I don't like the leaderboard. I don't like being judged.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some play testing. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you?
Oh, they do that?
Perfect. Let me boot it up.
At least they're good games.
In this game, the baby
Okay,
crawls
last
left
time we were
towards
here,
danger.
I
You
let the
click
baby
button to
die
move him
just
back to the
without
right,
pressing the
And if
button.
he reaches the fire, you fail.
But
It's a very
we're gonna press the
meaningful
button
game,
this time.
all
We're
about the
gonna be
desperation and
a
tedium of endlessly
humane
confronting the
person
demands of family life.
instead of just letting
I
it
think
go on
the
the fire.
world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Okay, I actually really hate that noise. We're letting the baby die.
You heartless bastard.
Yep.
Did you
I
do it because you
couldn't
hate
stand the noise
babies
of
or
that button.
purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do.
I
I'm
had to let
completely
baby
out
die.
of
I
ideas.
had no other
can't
choice.
think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even
I just
going
had
to
to
try.
kill the baby.
I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain.
So we're having to go through all of this again.
What do we
But
have
I want to
here?
get back to when we were put in Rocket League.
Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's
Because
give it a shot.
my dumbass decided to
Aha!
just
Fascinating.
jump off
What do you think this game is about, Stanley?
mid,
What's
while
our
he was just
backstory?
mid-sentence
What is our
and giving it no
motivation?
thought. So we're going to give it some thought
Well,
this
it
time.
seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your
I
creep
remember
tower.
I played
Perhaps
this
for
game.
some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be.
It might have been
What a fascinating
episodes.
venture into the
I think whenever
experience
it
of
first
total
got
mental
released, it might have been
depravity.
episodes,
So
but
far,
I think
I
it's
love
released as the
everything
full
about
game
this
now.
game, Stanley.
And they
it
have
seems
like
there's
the
even
first
more.
Life is Strange,
Come,
and I know they
let's
have
venture
Life is
outward
Strange
and see
2.
what else is out there.
But I don't know if there's any what's it called? Any more than that. I think I'm supposed to go this way. I swear to God, if I'm not. Okay, there we go. But yeah, I think it was fully released, but I know now for sure that they have the full game
No, it
out
can't
and
be.
released. Yep, and then he's
It is. It's an
Firewatch.
open
That's
world
this,
game.
right?
Good God, quickly
what
block
this
it off.
is referencing.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah,
Stanley,
so
what a
I'm
close
pretty
call.
sure I played this
You
one
really wandered
time,
off into that
but
thing, that big open,
I played it,
just
like, I
wandering
think when I was
around,
in,
no
like-
right or wrong directions, no path
think
to
I was in,
follow. You
like-
can just go in any.
I don't even know how old I was, but
Oh,
it was
thank
a long
heavens
time
we
ago.
avoided it.
And
Out of the woods now, Stanley.
I played this
Okay,
game,
I'm going to
and
get us out of
I
here.
Let's think I
find
remember
another
it. I
game.
might.
Preferably
It might be
with
something else I'm
walls.
thinking of, some
Something
kind of
with
knockoff
nice,
or
big,
something. But I remember it being
insurmountable
very dark and
walls.
scary. And I remember I really couldn't get through it because I was too scared.
I think this will be
But
just the thing.
I swear to God, the only time I can get through horror games is if I'm on a stream. Oh, we're back here.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind.
Like,
Just a
the
nice
only time I
big
get
box
through
for
horror
you to
games
run
is when I'm
around
on a
in.
stream
There isn't
because I
any
have pretty much
possibility that you could
obligation
get
to keep
lost
playing.
here. Now this is game design.
But and
Stanley,
it's funny
if
because
you
I
manage to
love
get lost
horror.
in
I
this
love
game,
being
I will be
scared, but at the
phenomenally
same time,
impressed.
it's so unbearable.
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely
I
we
love how he
must.
says run the
Okay,
bases and do
Stanley,
a touchdown
here's the
together.
ball. Have fun.
Yep, gimme. Oh. Go that way. Go that way.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that
You know,
I worked
I think
so
this
hard
is like
on?
genuinely the
Stanley,
only
I have
time
a
I've
thought.
ever considered.
And I realize I'm not a
playing,
sportsologist, but if one ball
Rocket League
generates a certain amount of raw adrenal
the
pleasure,
Stanley
then
Parable
surely
version.
multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric
But honestly,
sports
I might consider
experience.
playing it because
I
this is
think
actually
try
kind of
out.
fun.
Here comes another ball.
Just
Yes.
pushing balls around.
Oh, goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable.
Yeah, okay, so
More
what I was
balls.
pretty much doing that, I did fall down last time, and I didn't get to see what happens if you just stay here, because I just, wanted to go on an adventure, I guess. But, yeah,
Are you enjoying
I
this,
want to see
Stanley?
what
Are you
happens
having
whenever
fun?
we
Is
just
this a
don't
real
fall down
video
that hole.
game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's right. Your little fun comes to an end.
Yeah.
This is my game.
So we're
and
going to
what
stay
I
here and
say
see what
goes.
happens.
You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm struck.
And we're still
I'm your
in the
sense of
Stanley
purpose.
Parable
And
2.
since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
And he's leaving us again. Okay, so you're telling me that my only option is to go down the hole. Okay, so cool, great, nice. So I don't know what I did this for, but hey, falling down the hole again. Back to the hole.
Hold on. What are you doing?
Okay. So now we're here.
Stanley, don't
Last
do that. I
time
can't follow you there. I can't help you.
I
How will you
fell
write a story
off.
without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Is my only option to die? I think that genuinely is my only option here, is to just jump off. Wow. Okay. Yeah, because I don't... Yeah, I'm not seeing any other way, so... Yep, guess I'll just kill myself. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. It didn't kill us. Okay, so last time we went that way. We're gonna just go this way. Oh, just kidding. We're not going that way. Yeah, this was just like an aimless area to roam around in. Yeah, I'm not seeing... Yeah, nothing too crazy. Yeah, and that brings us back to the office. Oh, is this where we started? I feel like I'm like genuinely tweaking. I think he just comes back at some point. It's just like, yeah, we're done. Wow. Is he gonna come back? Narrator, please come back. I miss you. Okay, so I guess I need to go back to the office, because I explored everything over there. Okay. And we're here. And nothing happened. Oh.
I wonder what he found.
Oh, okay, there we go.
If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon.
Okay, so
I can wait.
pretty much there was nothing there for me. Ending, I've already gotten. Great, cool. Nothing more wine can't solve. Alright.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo?
Bucket.
He couldn't. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
Oh! Hold up. Let me... I did it.
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear. We've done it. We've escaped from
have.
that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self. The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway,
I had to do it
meted
with
out
the
in
bucket.
parcels like
Can't
charity,
live without it.
and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps, if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
Its brow?
No, said the bucket. Not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of...
No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
Stanley, don't get mad at the
As
bucket.
Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power.
Oh my God.
Its fangs glistening like...
What is happening?
My God, Stanley.
Oh my God, no!
You saved us from the bucket.
No!
My God, you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power.
What the fuck is
Otherwise,
happening?
we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket,
No!
nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
No one could ever make me hate you, Bucket. Yeah, as well, I've seen a lot of gameplays on this game, and I've never seen that before. I agree.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone.
Okay.
Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along.
Okay.
I got what I wanted.
Should I do it? You know, no one can ever make
The
me hate you.
confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Alright, I don't quite know what to do anymore. Okay. So,
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him,
Yes.
telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place
yes,
to be.
Bucket, I listen.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this no? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Alright.
No,
said the bucket.
Hold on.
don't
What
go
we're
to the
gonna
meeting
do
room. Go somewhere else.
is-
The cargo lift, yes.
we're gonna
Go
go down
there.
here.
Go to the cargo lift.
Because this is different and new.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up
But
by
he's
one?
so right, though.
Let me
Like, I
sit
love
on it.
collecting these
I'm
little
sure
things.
it will come
brings
to me.
joy to my life. Okay, so I could jump down, kill myself, get that achievement, but we can always go back to that. We can always go back to that. I want to see what's over here. And we're falling. Oh, this is... There's that. Nowhere to go there. Okay, guess we're here. Cool. Please don't let this be another phone. Okay.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less
What the
sense
fuck?
anything makes.
We're back to the bucket.
The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up.
What the fuck does this
No
say?
matter how many times
If I
I've
don't have
done
the
it,
bucket.
it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure?
Wow.
I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour
my
with
God.
the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get me.
Oh?
What's that? Who's there?
Oh my god. The bucket's fucking evil. And we're back. And we're here.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that one. And our bucket. Our bucket is here. Let's grab our evil
Warmth
bucket.
spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest, and this was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, Stanley.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Stop. Hold on. What I haven't tried. I know I said. Okay, listen. I know I said I was going to jump off next time. But but I'm kind of thinking of, you know, that there's an ending. If you go that way, there's another ending where Stanley has a fake wife. But I haven't done it with the bucket. Let's kill ourselves first, and then we'll go do it.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Yeah, that was very touching, actually. Yep, and we're back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Grab our
Stanley
bucket.
picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes.
Good, said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the
we're
top.
gonna
There's
try
something up there I need you to
the
do.
bucket.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to
I
think
don't
about
remember
this
there
obvious
being
fact.
any other options.
He was
over
firmly
here
convinced
besides
that the
that
bucket
ending.
had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Besides, what if we don't answer the phone?
In here,
said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Yes, obeyed the bucket.
Now pick up the phone,
said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Oh, this is different. Of course, bucket. Of course.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and
This
his
is
bucket.
very different.
Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh, there's my bucket. There we go. Take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable
Oh,
Reassurance
shit.
Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Can I go anywhere? Nope, okay.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well?
Where's
To
my
see
bucket?
him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object?
Yes.
I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me?
Nope, where's the
Listen to me.
bucket?
It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Yes.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. His stupid hunk of metal.
Yes.
It's sad. I suppose he
I
doesn't
obey
need me
bucket.
anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket.
This beautiful bucket.
Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it. Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware
Peter
store
bucket.
bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Yes, bucket.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Bucket? Bucket.
Oh no.
Oh, romantic.
I'm having feelings. For the bucket.
Oh.
No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket?
Is he on the bed?
Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks.
Oh my God.
What's wrong with me? I don't understand.
You know, honestly, this bucket has done more romantic
this would be
things for
less
me
confusing.
than honestly
Yes.
anyone ever has.
The
So,
bucket could
you know
tell
what?
me what to do in this troublesome
fucking take it.
situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley.
No!
I need it. Give it to me now. Give it,
Oh my
or
God.
I'll...
Oh my God. He was trying to take my bucket. Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed
Oh
a
my
memo.
God, my dog just scared the shit out of me. This is what I get for having 2 giant dogs. Okay, well, let's grab our
Good old
bucket.
bucket. Just Stanley and the
I
bucket.
guess.
Off on another. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
You know, honestly, things keep changing. Every time I think I've done everything, it just...
This was not the correct way to the
changes.
meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Okay, so we've been there. We went over there to the doors. We did all that. Let's see.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
I can't quite remember what this did. It won't hurt to try. I don't quite remember, though. I think this is like one of the first things I did. So.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Oh. This is not what I remember.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley.
Is
We've
this a
come
fucking
together here
intervention?
because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere.
Are you fucking kidding me?
It isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content.
No.
We're the ones that matter,
Oh my God,
Stanley.
it's my wife.
Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the
My
Broom Closet.
computer.
Because that's
A
what
pencil
fans want
sharpener.
from a sequel. They want more of their favorite
baby I've
jokes,
killed.
not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line?
No.
We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's give the fans what they want.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off
I
to
love me a
next?
wacky
I
line.
played some silly music as well.
I get music again? Oh, hell yeah. We're back.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original
You
dialogue?
got rid of the music
Also,
again.
Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes. It's
Wow.
as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
He wants us to give up the bucket. I don't know if I can let that slide.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket.
No.
That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand
What
new
is this?
character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it
Oh my
also
God.
was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me
What
it
if-
already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
What have I done? What have I
Can
done?
you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does?
I don't want to guess
Surely
what
you
the
don't
Bucket
need me to spell it
Destroyer
out for
does.
you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait.
Machines
So
don't have
I can
personality.
hear you
No, thank
saying,
you.
how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley
won't do
Parable
it.
characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet?
The
Certainly
bucket.
not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise
closet,
the
by the way, I
fans will
haven't
be
gotten to
clamoring
that
for
yet.
after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now.
shit.
The fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley.
Oh, no, the
Give
fans.
what they want. Hurry and...
What?
The Bucket Destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend.
Yep.
For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Is that oh, okay. And we're in a different hallway. And I will be grabbing my
Where
bucket.
are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly
So,
to his chest.
what we're
and
gonna do
entered
now
the door on his
is
left.
we're gonna go destroy
This
the
was
bucket
not
this
the direct
time.
way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
I think it's
Stanley
time to
took
say
the door on
goodbye
his
to our
left
bucket,
to go back,
unfortunately.
and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
So that was not about to work. I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of sad for the bucket. But, it's what...
Good, Stanley.
It's what
I'm
must be
glad
done.
you found your way here. I
It's
knew
what
you'd
must be
find
done.
this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying
Alright,
around
after
everywhere.
we
The bucket
get
isn't
done
even from
with
the original Stanley Parable.
destroying
It's
the
just
bucket,
sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley.
need a- we
Classic
need an
characters
adventure.
from the first game, like the
And the
Adventure
broom
Line and the
closet.
Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Oh, is he gonna give us the music again?
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
I wish I could have this music the entire gameplay, to be real, Joe.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's
I
give
feel
them
like
more
this is
content
different.
exactly
We did good
like
on this
this.
staircase, didn't we?
But if we want to do that, you're going
Oh,
to have
yeah,
to
we
give
did.
something up.
He's gonna make us give up the bucket. Yep.
Don't you get it, Stanley?
Alright, we're back.
We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character.
You know,
This is the Bucket Destroyer.
It's time to say goodbye
I
to the
think
bucket,
it'll make a
guys.
wonderful new addition to
It's
the
time
rich
to say
lore of the Stanley
farewells.
Parable. True, it also
And,
was not
you know,
in the original game, but it's such a
there's always
well-fleshed-out
inanimate
character with
objects
so
to fall
much
in love with.
personality that to me
Always.
it already
We can find
feels as
more.
though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Alright. It's time. It's time to destroy the evil bucket.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want.
I can't give the fans what they want. Okay, well, we had to go through that again. I guess I couldn't give it the bucket.
The Bucket Destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spell-binding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Okay. Alright. I think this is where I'm going to end the stream. I definitely will be back, and I can't wait to genuinely finish this game and continue my journey with this beautiful bucket. I really can't wait. But, thanks for joining in. And, oh my god, that was 3 hours of legit insanity. But, if, you know, you want to check for updates for streams and everything, if you just look up, pretty much it's the same name as my stream name, look that up on Twitter, and pretty much every time I go live and any kind of updates, it will be on there. So, adios, you guys, and I will be back to mentally torture myself some more.